What are the 10 best habits when learning PLC programming at home? We're going to talk about that right today. And we're going to jump right into it. Hello, my name is Paul. I'm with Logix Magazine. So when learning PLC programming at home, one of the most important strategies to being successful is to create proper habits. You've got to create habits and routines that are going to lead you to be successful. We're going to talk about those today. And I've identified 10 of them that I think are the most crucial to your success. We all have to do it. No one's any different. I will tell you this much. If you're learning PLC programming and you're trying to do that at home, to be successful, you're going to find yourself having set certain habits and certain routines and doing things a certain way over a long period of time. What I'm going to share with you today is what I think are the 10 best ones to set up and develop. All right, so routine number one, habit number one, I should say, is you want to capitalize, set up a space to study. So this is one of the most important aspects of studying PLC programming, is that you have to have your own little space. You cannot easily share a space with your spouse, with the kids doing homework. You need to set yourself up a little bit of space that's just yours, for just you and your laptop or computer to do the work that you're studying. Very important to do this. And you need to begin thinking about that from day one. All right, to set yourself up a space that's just yours. Don't overlook this, because you need to develop the habit of working on it regularly. All right, we're going to talk about that. So that's number one. Number two, what is the second best habit to have when learning PLC programming at home? Is set goals. Let's improve that. Set everyday goals. So every day you want to say there's something you want to work on, something you want to specifically try to accomplish that day. Very important to set daily goals. I'm going to work on this, and this is how much I'm going to try to accomplish. Don't wing it. Okay? Don't wing it. Set goals and work to accomplish those goals. In my opinion, you really need an hour or two every day to focus on this. Now, let's break that down. An hour of being productive on the computer, and maybe an hour of studying, looking over programs and prints and trying to study those, and an hour, a solid hour minimum every single day on the computer. Very important, right? And set daily goals of what you're going to try to accomplish. All right, so number three, big old three. Number three is all right. Repetitions, high-level repetitions. I use that phrase. It comes from the martial arts world, and it's doing the same thing over and over and over and over. And in our case, it's not doing this, programming the same routine or the same instruction. It's working on it every single day. Every day, every day, every day. You're going to hear me preach this over and over and over and over, because I've got to get it drilled into your head. You got to make time. You got to make space to study, and you got to give yourself a little bit of space, and you got to work on it every single day. There's just no shortcut. That's the habit you want to create. You want to feel guilty, and you want to feel bad, and you want to feel like something's missing if you don't work on it every single day. Okay? That's how you should feel. All right? Okay, so let's go down here to our fourth one. All right, we'll delete that. We'll move that over to the left. And what is our fourth one? Notebook. This one is often overlooked. This one is overlooked critically. What I recommend you do is give yourself get yourself a notebook, and you make very meticulous notes on what you're learning, where you get stuck, where you might come up with a question. You're very, very methodically making notes about all the work that you're doing. As you work through a program, you want to make notes on where you're at, what you're doing. Any questions you have, anything you get stuck on, take your time. Make sure that your notes are legible, very neat. What you're going to do is, what I'm trying to share with you is create the habit. If you do not write neat, practice writing neat. If you do not make notes as a regular practice, practice making notes. Get a notebook that's specifically for your programming and take very meticulous notes. Go slow, take your time, think it through, and make your notes very legible. Okay, and just continue keeping it. And again, if you're working on it every day, that means you should be writing your notes, making notes about the studying that you're doing every day. Every day, every day. All right, so number 5, good old number 5. So this one will make you and break you. Okay, save your work. Now, a couple of things here. You can get a software program that backs up your files every day at night while you're sleeping, okay? So you have an auto method, and you want to have a manual method as well, okay? So make a practice that before you close everything out, or even every so often, you make a habit to save your work. Save your work, okay? This will be crucial for you, all right? Very important to save your work. Okay, get in the habit of doing that. That's what we're talking about. Habits. Okay, so we're halfway through here already. So let's review. Set up a space just for you, just for your programming. Set everyday goals. Okay, what's 3? Repetitions. Work on it every single day. What's 4? 4 is keep meticulous notes about the work that you're doing. Okay, any questions, any concerns, any successes, anything that you got going on in your studying, make notes about it. Number 5, save your work. Okay, save your work, your online work, your notes, keep them neat and organized. We'll talk about that here in a few minutes. Okay, so then review. That's what we got. Those are our top 5 so far, and we got 5 more I think are very, very important. Okay, so what's our next? What's number 6? Oh, that's number 7. Let's go to 6. All right, so number 6, I can get this set up. Number 6, okay, this one's in my opinion. I think you need to print the work that you're doing so you can review it when you're not in front of a computer. Because we spend a lot of time throughout our day, especially when you're not doing it full-time, as a full-time job, you spend a lot of your time elsewhere, maybe traveling, your spouse is driving a car. Take your notebook, print off your programs, and study it. Look at it. Make notes on it, okay? Print off your programs so that you can start studying and documenting what you're doing. Very important. And even on top of that, get other programs that other people have done and print them off so that you can study them when you're not in front of a computer. Okay, very important. Make that a habit. Okay, as often as you can, print it off. Okay, number 7. Good old number 7. All right, so number 7 is pretty simple, but most people don't do it. Okay, what you need to do is you need to ask somebody that you trust, you know, like, and trust in the industry, a mentor, a senior engineer, somebody who knows, who's at a higher level and skill set than you. Have them take a look at your work. Okay, ask them. Now here's the thing. You don't want them to look at it every day, every week, okay? Set up a time, say, hey, in 30 days, I'm going to try and do this amount of work. If I get that done, would you mind taking a quick glance at it and let me know, get your feedback. Make relationship, get a relationship with somebody who's very skilled. Ask them if they wouldn't mind looking over your work every once in a while. Work very diligently, produce good quality work, and then ask them to take a look at it. Okay, it'd be, in my opinion, every month, every 2 or 3 months, have somebody look at the work that you're doing. Okay, very important. Now, obviously not all of it, but a good representation of the work that you've done. All right, very important habit. Make it a regular routine, a regular habit to have somebody take a look at the work that you're doing. Here's why. You need that feedback. You want to know if everything's working just right. Okay, if it's looking good, some ideas, you need that feedback regularly. So I recommend that people try to do it every month at a minimum. Take some small part of a project, have somebody take a look at it. Okay, especially have them look at a spot in the programming where maybe it's new to you and you don't have a lot of experience with it. Have them take a look at it. Okay, very important. Okay, number 8. Number 8. So number 8, this one's near and dear to my heart. Whoa. All right. Getting stuck with that W, aren't I? Okay, so organize your files, okay? What I do is I take the name of the project and I put the date as part of the name of the file. Very important. So I have the project folder. I have the different files in there from the different programs. I put the date on it so that if I go back to it, and if I modify that program, I'll save it again under the new date. So I'll have 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 of the same programs, all with a new date. Very important, because if you ever want to revert back to something, you'll have that. Very important to have that chronological history to be able to refer back to. So project, file, project name, whatever the project name is, right? And then the date. And then if I worked on it Monday, then Tuesday's going to have a new date. Then Wednesday's going to have a new date. Then Thursday's going to have a new date. You can even put month Monday, or January, February, March. It is very important that you save and organize your files and create a history to be able to refer back to. Okay? Very important. And then, of course, any documents that go to support this. So OEM documents, notes, any documents you put into those files and and it just keeps everything neat and compact. And when you need it, you know exactly where it's at. Very important. Okay, so number 9, good old number 9. I like the number 9. Number 9 is a cool number. All right. So number 9 is visualize. So what I mean by this is this. Sometimes, or I should say, what you want to do is you want to create a habit, right? And in order to create a habit, you have to do it on a regular basis, right? So here's what I would recommend doing. Before you start writing a bunch of code, okay, visualize it. Visualize what it is you're going to write in your code and how you're going to organize it before you just start throwing up a bunch of code, okay? What happens is sometimes we get so far ahead we don't spend time to say, let me be logical, okay? Bang, 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 and organize it and make sure that it makes sense, visualize it, before you just start getting working. And what happens is sometimes we just get busy, and we want to be busy, and we aren't clear about where we're at, what we want to accomplish, and the steps that we get into it. That we get busy, and we get overwhelmed by all the different things we're doing. That we miss what we started with, what we want to get done, and the work in between. We get distracted or anything, some of those things. So start, okay, I want to do this, visualize it, the code in your head, bang, bang, bang. Yep, I got it in my head. Now you go in and you do it. Now, if there's a time, If there's a time that you have to explore because you're not sure how to do it, that's a time you might reference a video somewheres. Look at that video, write down the steps that it takes, and then visualize it in your head off of those steps, then go after it. Or sometimes you just have to explore. But if you're trying to be productive, okay, get something done. This is the get something done period of your of your work. Then visualize it and then do it. If you're not sure how to do it, that's set time aside to explore that, all right? But when you're working and trying to get something done, be very specific about what you're doing, from where you're starting to where you're in. Be very methodical and get it done. Save the exploratory stuff for another time. If it's part of this and you're not sure how to do it, go around it, leave it for later, get the work done that you do know how to get done. What you want to do is make sure that you actually produce something, not spend a lot of time being lost. It's okay to be lost. You got to figure stuff out. And you being new, you're going to have to figure a lot of stuff out. But there's a lot of stuff you already know, and you need to produce something. You need to be able to show something. This is what I've done today. Make sense? Begin by visualizing what you want to get done, and then get it done. Okay. It's an often overlooked part of thinking is visualizing. Okay, number 10. This is our last one. Okay, so number 10, rule of habit is do not multitask. Okay, here's why. Why? You should know why. Because I'm going to get a whole lot of nothing done. I'm going to be involved in a lot of stuff and in the end not get anything done. Focus on your program. Visualize what you want to get done. Begin working on it. Make your notes. Be methodical. Okay? And get something done. And work on it every single day. If you follow these and develop these 10 best habits, you're going to be very successful as a programmer. Now, mind you, in the professional world, programmers will have to stay focused. They will have to produce work, and they'll have to stay focused for hours and hours at a time. Okay? If you travel, you're going to find that you're going to have to focus in very difficult environments sometimes. In factory with lots of noise, lots of activity. Sometimes in a factory that's cold, that because the factory's shut down, and you're working by yourself, and it's a lot of various situations. The most important thing is if you follow these 10 habits, when you go to the field, you're going to set up your workspace. Okay, you're going to say, okay, I know what I need to get done. I'm going to try to get this and this done. Okay, you know that you're going to work on it consistently, right? Through the whole day. You're not going to work on it for an hour and then quit. You're going to work on it and stay focused and work on it. You're going to make meticulous notes about the work that you're doing so that whatever you're changing, modifying, or anything, you have it. You know what you've done, what you've changed. So you've made notes. You saved your work so that you have a history of the changes that you've made. If you can print out that program so you can refer to it and look at it on a piece of paper. Okay. If you're out in the field, you're probably going to ask for, at some point being new, you're going to ask for some support back at the home office. Okay. So get used to creating a relationship with somebody and asking for help. Here's why number 7 is really important. Because you're new and you're going to make it so important to protect your ego that you don't want anybody to know that you don't know something. And that's going to cause you to fail. Get in the habit of asking people to look over your work. Get in the habit of admitting that you don't know something. Get in the habit of asking for help when you need it. It's very simple, but it's going to be something, it will cripple you if you don't make this into a regular habit. Okay? Visualize the work you're going to do. I'm going to go from A to Z, from 1 to 10 today. If you run into something you don't know, bypass it if you can. And get everything else done that you do know, come back, and then work on that and get some help and support as needed. Just spend time visualizing what you want to do. And don't try to multitask. Don't listen to the, well, I don't listen to the radio. A lot of people do, but don't take multiple phone calls. It might be a little different when you're in the field, but phone calls that's nothing to do with your work. Don't put on the TV and the radio and have people come in and out. You've got to be able to stay focused on the task. And as a programmer, you need to be able to stay focused on the task for hours at a time. All right? So in my opinion, these are the 10 best habits when learning PLC programming from home. 10 best habits to develop. All right, so if this is your first time here, go ahead and subscribe. Be excited to answer any of your questions. Maybe you've got some 10 best habits you'd like me to add to this list. Love to hear it. All right. If you want to learn more about me and about the Logix Magazine, go to logixmagazine.com, and we'll see you next time. All right. So until next time, this is Paul.